Hello and welcome back. Today, enjoying a relaxing yin sequence. In yin yoga, we'll hold our poses anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes, and they're really meant to be a calming, relaxing, physically effortless sort of practice. You might find that with a lot of the stillness and a lot of the quiet today, that it can be more of a mentally challenging practice. And here's where this sense of presence, this awareness of your breath, and the sensations of your body can really come into practice in a new way. So we'll get started right away in a child's pose. If you know child's pose isn't for you, you might enjoy a crocodile pose to start to open up and settle into your practice. If you have blocks will come in handy at the end of practice for sure. We'll be finishing in a supported fish, but you might like to have them throughout the practice. If you don't, at the end you might just take a regular Shavasana. So to start, we'll come to our child's pose. We'll take the knees wide, big toes to touch, hips back towards your heels, and we'll rest right here. So in yin, an awareness of your breath really helps out. We want the breath to be pretty easy, pretty stable, pretty effortless, and it's a gauge. So if you start to feel the breath speed up, it feels a little labored, you're feeling any sense of breathlessness, that's just a sign from your body to back out a bit. Like I said though, there will be a lot of quiet in this practice, so just time to settle in, and as always, to really be here in this moment, doing this one thing at this one time, and invitation to really let the thoughts slow down. If the thoughts come up, rather than following them, just kind of letting them pass you by and coming back maybe to your breath. Maybe you want to count the breaths. Maybe you just want to notice where you're feeling the breath in your body, or to really tap into those bodily sensations. Anytime we're in a pose, just noticing how things are feeling. With that in mind, we're avoiding any sharp or electric type of sensations, though you might find some of the poses produce sort of a dull ache. That's pretty safe. But as always, really keeping an eye on your own experience, modifying if you need, skipping poses if they don't feel good in your body. We're here to feel happy and healthy, and we don't want to have to change our body to fit the practice. We'll just modify the practice to fit today's body. We'll be here in this child's pose for about 1 more minute. From our child's pose, we'll make our way into crocodile on our belly. You can just hinge forward and as effortlessly as possible come to rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Tops of feet can be into the floor, or you might even turn your feet out so that the inner edges of your feet are on the floor, inner thighs kind of opening up here. Just checking what feels more comfortable in your body. We'll take about 5 breaths here before we move on. from crocodile, we'll take an open wing pose. Right ear coming to the mat, right arm reaching out to the right. Offering the option today for a block under your right ear. You might try that as we roll onto the right side and find a comfortable position with the legs where you'll be able to stay and breathe. Option to bring that block under the right ear. Maybe you'd even like a half bind with your left arm. As we'll be holding these poses a little longer than we might in a typical class, you can always take your time getting into a pose, and you might take a little time to back out of a pose. If you find that you get somewhere and it's really intense, always that opportunity to move yourself out. This is one of our shorter holds. We've got about a minute left right here. And if you took that bind with the left hand, you'll slowly release that. We'll come back onto our belly. We'll rest in crocodile pose for about 5 breaths between sides. So using it sort of as a belly down shavasana, just like we let go at the end of practice, here letting go of that side. Just giving the moment to the body to kind of settle in from that deep stretch. We'll head into the other side. This time it's left ear to the mat. Left arm out to the left. We're rolling onto the left side. You might like to bring a block under that left ear. Finding any comfortable place for that right leg to rest. You could always curl your knees towards your chest. You could find a stack or maybe a bent knee with a planted foot. I kind of like a straight leg behind me. Option to find that half bind with the right arm. And then throughout this practice, invitation to close the eyes. Once you've settled into your pose, giving the eyes a break from all the work they do all day long. One more minute here. Releasing the bind if you took it, getting rid of the block if you had it, rolling back onto our belly for our belly down Shavasana crocodile pose, maybe swapping which hand is on top as you rest your forehead for about 5 breaths. We'll start to press up to a tabletop. From here, setting up a lunging lizard pose. Let's start with our left side. This would be a nice place to have some blocks. So we'll step our left foot pretty wide out to the outer edge of the mat. Your right knee is down. And you really want to be kind of on the top of the knee rather than right on the middle of the kneecap. We are going to stay upright for about a minute. Then we will fold it down for about a minute. So this is where I love blocks. You could be up. You could also have your foot more into center. You might walk the blocks back a bit, lift your chest, and here we let our hips sink down. Option to stay lifted if this feels really good. Otherwise, option to come down to forearms. You might like to bring forearms to your blocks. Maybe you make it all the way to the floor. Just about a minute right here. If you love lunging lizard, you might stay right here. Otherwise, we'll head into half pigeon. So staying with the hips, you'll start to walk your left foot over to the right side of your mat. Left knee stays wide. Shin is on a bit of a diagonal. You'll slide your right leg back. We'll find a lift of our chest for proud pigeon, puffing out your chest like a pigeon. And then when you're ready, folding down, sleeping swan, they call this in yin. Half pigeon in our more traditional vinyasa class. And resting here. Any amount of support. You might like a block under the chest, maybe under the forehead, maybe forearms on the block. And there's plenty of time, so maybe you start on forearms, let your body kind of know what's about to happen. When you feel ready, maybe making your way down to rest your forehead on something. About 2 minutes left right here. Keeping an eye on the breath, partly as a way to keep you present and still and focused, and also as a gauge to let you know if the body needs to back out or if there's room to enter more deeply into the stretch. Gently starting to make your way up. We'll lean over on our left hip and let our right leg come out long in front of us. We'll take a seated single leg fold here, Janu Shirshasana. We'll lift our chest, point our chest towards our extended leg, and then take an easy fold up and around the spine, drop the head to relax right here. You might be somebody that likes to rest your forearms on blocks. And here we are, checking in on that easy breath, giving your body time to open. Just about 1 minute left right here. Gently lifting up. From here, making our way back to Shavasana. You can extend your left leg, come onto your back. We'll just take a moment here between sides. You can sprawl out and find your easy breath. When you're ready, bringing knees into your chest, rolling off to one side, pressing your way up to a seat, and then back to our tabletop to set this all up on the other side. Maybe using those blocks as we first find our upright lunging lizard, stepping our right foot wide, sliding that left leg back so there's not too much pressure on the kneecap. We get a minute here with a proud lifted chest. You can stay lifted, or you can start to make your way down onto forearms. Maybe it's forearms to blocks, maybe to the floor. It's about a minute here. Option to stay here if you love lunging lizard, or you might press yourself up, start to walk those right feet over to the left, settling into our half pigeon on the right side. You might use your blocks to find that big puff of your chest. Inhale. When you're ready, letting your pigeon rest, letting your swan sleep. Maybe taking a few moments up on forearms just to give the body a little clue as to where it's headed. Maybe propping chest or forehead up on a block. Maybe eventually resting your forehead down on your hands. About 2 minutes left right here. Gently pressing yourself up, this time leaning over on the right hip, bringing the left leg long in front of us, right foot into that inner thigh. We'll find that lift of our chest, and then that easy fold over our left leg. Option to rest forearms on your blocks. Just under a minute left right here. Gently lifting up, and then coming onto our backs for our little brief Shavasana. You might bring your blocks with you so they're handy in a moment. Just resting, letting go of those big hip openers, those hamstring stretches, and resting right here. Gently starting to bring our knees towards our chest. You might like a block for this one. Taking an easy, even supine twist. You might like a block between your thighs. You might find you like a block under your shin over to the left. So you can play with both, but we'll bring either knees to chest or maybe knees to stack over the hips. Both legs head over to the left. Right arm might reach out to the right. We get a little time here. If you love the neck stretch, maybe you drop your gaze over to the right. Maybe it stays up at the ceiling. So really listening to what today's body has to offer. Finding about one more breath right here. And then bringing knees back through center. Maybe it's into the chest, maybe it's knees over the hips. Both knees over to the right. Left arm might reach out to the left. You might find that you like the block or you ditch it. And then you rest. You give up the effort. You let the breath be your guide. more breath. Then knees come back to center. You might take a little rock and a little roll. We'll bring ourselves up to a seat to set up our final shape. This fish pose is going to act as our Shavasana. I will put us into it. I'll bring us out of it. We'll have a little time to close, but you can always take as much or as little time in fish as you like. So this will serve as your final shape. So fish pose, I like my block on the lowest height, the one that's under my shoulders. I like the medium height from my head. You might be on the medium height, high height. You might both be on low. You'll really play with that. I like to have my block across my upper back. Some people like to have it down the middle, so kind of block along their spine and their shoulder blades fall on either side. So you might play with that too. We'll come to turn our backs to the block, and we're really going for upper back on the block. So right where the shoulder blades start, up towards the collarbones, and then back of the head resting. You can open the arms, and then anything you like here with the legs. They might go long. You might like to keep your feet flat on the floor. And you can kind of adjust until you find yourself in a place where you're really ready to rest, where you're feeling this wide open heart, so that we can leave this practice ready to face the world, leading with love, leading with our wide open hearts. So as you're ready, settling into our final Shavasana fish pose. You can always stay longer and close your practice however you like best. If you're ready to move on, we'll bring both elbows in by our sides. We'll press into our elbows to lift straight up. Take a moment to rest in your staff pose, nice tall spine. From there, you might cross your legs, catch an easy twist to each side. Left hand to right knee, and right hand to left. Then coming to center, maybe bringing your hands up to your heart. Taking a moment to thank your body, to thank your practice, to thank all those people, past, present, and future, who make it possible. You might bring your thumb knuckles up to your third eye and take a bow to seal it all in.